So in this video, we're going to talk about low carb versus keto, what the difference is, what nutritional ketosis actually means, and why these two approaches might not be as different as you think, especially when it comes to improving your blood sugar. Right, let's start by getting really clear on the definitions, because most of the confusion does start there. So when people say low carb, they're usually not talking about one exact diet. Low carb is actually a spectrum. It simply means you're eating fewer carbohydrates than the standard modern diet. And for most people, that means cutting back on things like bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, breakfast cereals, biscuits, cakes, those sugary drinks, fruit juice, and a lot of those snacky, ultra-processed stuff that's basically carbs in disguise. And instead, you're building your meals around protein, so meat, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu if that's your thing, plus non-starchy vegetables and healthy fats to help you feel full and keep that blood sugar steadier. Now, the reason low carb can work so well for type 2 diabetes is pretty straightforward. Carbohydrates have the biggest impact on blood glucose, so if you reduce them, you usually reduce the spikes. But here's where the confusion starts. What about keto? So when people say keto, they usually mean a ketogenic diet, which is basically a more restrictive version of low carb. The goal with keto isn't just to lower the carbs. The goal is to lower the carbs enough that your body goes into something called nutritional ketosis. This is where you start producing ketones and using fat as a major fuel source. And just to be clear, ketosis isn't a moral achievement. It's not a badge. It's simply what happens when your carbs are low enough for long enough. For most people, that means the carbs are kept very low, often around 20 to 50 grams a day, usually towards the lower end, although it does vary person to person. And that's why keto is different. It's a much tighter set of boundaries. But here's the bit that surprises people. Low carb and keto have a lot of overlap. With both approaches, you will end up eating more protein, more vegetables, more whole foods, and fewer of those sugary, starchy carbs. And in both approaches, blood glucose will improve because you're reducing the biggest driver of those glucose spikes. So the real difference is not that one is good and one is bad. The difference is usually how low you take the carbs, how quickly you want results, and how restrictive it feels in real life.